Episode 4 of Moon Knight. Travis, I said last week I was enjoying the show, and I was. I had some criticisms I kind of kept to myself. We were talking about how it was a little slow. Maybe it might be better as a binge. Episode 4 was the first one that top to bottom knocked my socks off.
There it is.
What?
Every Marvel show, every single one. We get this far, and you're like, man, I don't know. It might be better as a binge. Might need to. Hasn't gripped me in yet. And then around 3 or 4, you go, yeah, I'm in, baby.
I
Let's
know.
do it.
That was only with Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the only other one. I was like, yeah, okay, this is fine.
You did it with Loki too. You definitely.
I was all in on Loki from day one. I was super into Loki. Loki was my shit from day one. I was super enthralled with the mystery with WandaVision. Hawkeye, I was kind of sleepwalking through for the most part. Once Echo showed up is when I got super into that. I will admit that. But for the I mean, you're right. I have for every episode said this is the one. Like this is where it went from good to great. I will give that. That there have been the good to great transition episodes. But this fucking one, it was really cool. And I think it's cool because I think there's an element of toying with the audience that I really like. But I give you the floor before I go on my tangent there. Thoughts on episode 4?
I thought it was really good. I've been really enjoying the show. That did not change. I definitely forgot an episode had come out and that I had seen it and that we had not talked about it until yesterday when you were like, yeah, it'll mostly be Moon Knight talk. And in my head, my reaction was, Jarod, it's not Wednesday yet. Moon Knight isn't out yet. I didn't say that out loud. And then I
No.
thought about it for a second. And I thought, wait a minute. We didn't talk about last week's episode. Shit, what was in last week's episode?
You know what I can tell you wasn't last week's episode?
My brain breaking.
Yeah, it's the hippo song. It's about the hippopotamus. The most dangerous land animal in the world. Hippopotamus. 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 Ow!
Enough of that. Okay, real quick.
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna get my Henry Zabrowski on. That was a fucking op.
What?
Hippopotamus song is an op.
He activated somebody in that crowd.
No. I think he went in there to tease Moon Knight. I think he, like, obviously he knew it was coming. I think he did that knowing that months later people would be like, hey, didn't Oscar Isaac sing a really random song about a fucking hippo on Fallon? I am convinced all of that was intentional. I do not think there was any coincidence there at all. The hippopotamus song is an op. Take that to the bank. But yeah, I also got confused in the same way you did and thought that we were going to be late because I also threw off my own schedule as well. So we both were kind of on the same wavelength in different directions there. No, what I really like here, and this may not have been intentional insofar as, you know, different things being in production at the same time or desperate times or whatever, disparate rather. I think on some level, the same way that so much of WandaVision was what's real, what's fake, what's bleeding in from the real world, what's bleeding out into the real world. Like that was so much of a driving force of that show. That here, I love the mental institution purgatory. because I don't think he's institutionalized. I don't think at all. I think it is a brilliant bait and switch. I do not. I think everything is real. I everything is actually happening, and I think Arthur Harrow and Amit and whomever the driving force villain uh, is trying to take advantage of Mark and Stephen and Jake. Uh, Again, I'm just gonna say Moon Knight as a catch-all for all of the people who live in that noggin. Uh, but I think he's trying to take advantage of Moon Knight, in particular Mark, as we see throughout the institution, to make him doubt himself. And I think that it is supernatural in nature what we are seeing. Um, I think it's genius. I think that the fact that the Stephen Grant like discount Indiana Jones guy we see, he even almost kind of looks like Arthur Harrow, which I also think has like he kind of looks like Ethan Hawke, which I think is also intentional. Um, I just think it's a genius tactic to try to throw the audience off, because once you introduce that possibility that none of it is real, everything comes into question. And I think it's smart. And I think it'll be fun to try to figure out what is real and what is fiction. But I am mostly excited for everything to be real. I hope it's all real. Um, I also think that the very specific moment where we see a sarcophagus with someone like banging on it to get out, we've been speculating Jake Lockley. That's been one of the prevailing theories, is that there will be a third personality that we have not seen yet, which is in the comics another Moon Knight personality, one that is slightly more, that is has a more of a slight proclivity for violence, even though Moon Knight inherently is quite brutal. Um, which would make sense because go to the old episode 3 where Mark and Steven are arguing, like, hey, why'd you kill that guy? I didn't do it. Well, clearly I didn't do it. And I think it would make sense for it to be Jake. You can also argue that it might be Khonshu, because we still had Khonshu at play when that was happening. Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny you hit me with there it is. But like, this had what I was looking for in this show. Like, I was really hoping for like equal parts. And granted, I've gotten my fix of superhero Moon Knight in the first couple episodes, that I was really waiting for like weird occult shit Moon Knight. And like, here we're fighting like zombie bodyguard or mummy bodyguards, and we're like excavating and exploring the caves and shit. And like, I don't know, like there was a horror element at play here that was stronger than the other episodes. And this is more the tone I was hoping for. And it helps that it is in Egypt this episode, that it is largely, kind of back at its roots. But yeah, I was super, super into this episode. And again, I've enjoyed all of them. But this was the first one that I almost wanted to rewind and just watch again immediately. And would have provided the time in the morning and not having to, go to work and shit. I'm gonna Google the name again so I get it right, because God knows names like this make me sound like an idiot. Taweret, the hippo god at the end of the episode. It was just such a cute, fun reveal. And I love that. And again, this is stuff that's been discussed to death by now. But again, we would be remiss not to bring it up. I love the subtle ways that so much of this show gets teased at us in the very beginning. One of the, I believe Steven is talking to his boss about Tauret at work, and he's playing around with plushies of her in the first episode, which I think is really cute and fun. And then we bring all the way back here to her being the only god on Moon Knight's side at this point. Which again, there's been talk that this might, like WandaVision, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, be a one and done. And if that is the case, I'm very curious if Khonshu even comes back. I hope he does. I hope that Moon Knight is still in the MCU by the end of this show. But yeah, this is just a really fun episode. Like this was everything I was looking forward to in this show, and I know there's a scene we haven't seen yet from the trailers that looks like it's a flashback to Mark becoming Moon Knight, like the night that Khonshu saved his life, which we got fun setup for here. And I wouldn't be surprised if, to get out of the mental hospital purgatory that Harrow put Moon Knight in, that it's going to be not unlike the penultimate episode of WandaVision, where we kind of like run a memory gauntlet and then it spits us back out the other side. And who knows? Maybe the memory gauntlet is how we free Khonshu. So we're going into whatever the final conflict is with Arthur Harrow and Amit, with the team being Moon Knight, Layla, Khonshu, Tauret. Is like that's your team going in. His partner in the comics, Frenchie. We saw Frenchie's last name in the flip phone when he's running through it, and that's the guy who gunned him down in the desert. So I think that's the direction. I think we're going to arrive at some type of like extended flashback that gets us out of the mental hospital. And since these episodes are longer than what we got from WandaVision, I think we'll have more time to set the stage for the finale, which was, on the whole, the biggest criticism of WandaVision's finale is that shit just kind of starts happening due to the episode length. So, Travis, I've been talking for a minute. Do you have any thoughts? Because I've been hogging the mic, hogging the air, as it were.
Not really. I enjoy being on the ride, right? All this joke about Marvel stuff being an amusement park ride. Well, I don't think is entirely accurate. There is a semblance of, they say that because there's a nugget of truth in there, and I like being on the ride, and I like experiencing it as it comes, and I don't know. I've gotten really good recently at just like, yeah, I like this and enjoying it. And when I don't like it, to just kind of set it down gently and go, I don't think that was for me. But this is for me. I quite like this.
Well, you made it. I hope it's for you.
Yeah.
Whenever we do the season review, the thumbnail is just going to be me. You're going to be on one of the Moon Knight faces, and I'm just going to see how long it takes people to notice which one. But yeah, I'm very excited for episode 5. Obviously, that will be out tomorrow, tonight, if you're willing to stay up late enough for it. So yeah, I think that's all we have for you guys this week. Travis, you're making a public appearance. If you like what you saw there, be sure to subscribe, stick around, and check out entire episodes of the Nerd Academy podcast, Knights of the Nerd Republic, the #1 contender, TNAP Movie Club, all of our podcasts here. If you're a nerd, we got something for you. We cover the movie trivia schmodown. We cover Star Wars. We cover Marvel, DC, movies in general. If you're looking for it, we got it. We'd love to have you. So yeah, class dismissed.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar.